Why do you think, and you don't, not throw any shade on your friends,
Yeah.
why do you think you've been in a happy, great relationship and they're still single? What do you think they're missing that you have? Or that you're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because they must come to you for advice, no? Because they're like,
all the
she's...
time.
Do you know what I mean?
All the time.
Do they take your advice?
My friend was sending me like 20-minute voice notes just before I was coming here, actually.
Oh, really?
So funny. I feel like it's all about being self-aware. And a lot of people are not quite self-aware.
Okay.
There's people who are very in denial about who they are, about their toxic traits,
Right.
their habits, their triggers, all this stuff. And obviously, you know, I can't speak on my friends, but I can speak on myself and what I've learned over the years.
Yeah.
And personally for me, I taught myself how to heal myself, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to heal myself. I started to notice these bad patterns in relationships. You know, lack of boundaries, like just not being assertive enough, like these things. I started to really evaluate myself. And sometimes when I speak to my friends, they're just kind of like, oh, he's just an F-boy.
Yeah.
That's it. Finish. End of discussion.
Yeah.
Then they go into that phase of hating him.
Yes.
Hating men now. I'm hyper independent. I don't need anyone.
Yeah.
And the truth is, we all need someone, you know, we really do. And I know, and I'm speaking to myself because like I've been through this where you almost like gaslight yourself. You just gaslight yourself. You're like, I'm going to be alone. Like I went through a phase where I was like, I'm going to be alone. And I'm just like, I'm probably just going to like freeze my eggs. Like, I don't know, you know, you start researching on Google and things like that. You're like, no, it's fine. I'm a woman. I have backup plans. Like you start to gaslight yourself into thinking actually a world where I'm not married, I'm not with kids, I'm not in a relationship, I don't need anyone, just going out, having fun. Because that's what a lot of girls think. And really, then you start to realize, actually, no, I feel lonely. I feel lonely. I want someone to share these memories with. I want to have these experiences with someone. I want to grow. I want to learn things about myself. I want to be challenged. And you can't do those things by just seeing your friends and going out every Friday night.
So true.
You have to really, sometimes it hurts. And this is the thing, like people really don't want to get hurt. And sometimes they don't want to get hurt so much to the point where they'll actually stop themselves from even getting into anything.
Yeah, of course.
That's such a bad mentality to have because what's the point of living life if you've never loved? Or if you've never even given a shot at finding love, you know? So I think the answer to that is that you need to be self-aware. And everybody's on their own journey, you know, everyone moves at their own pace.
Yes.
I can't expect my friends to be super self-aware like I am. Like, it took me a long time. Like, I'm 28. It took me a really long time. Like, I tell my partner all the time, I'm like, I was really childish when I was 23. And he's like, I can imagine. And I was just like, yeah. Like, I was like, honestly, you wouldn't have liked me if you met me when I was like 22, 23. And he just like always looks at me and he's like, wow, okay, interesting. I was like, yeah, like I had to really grow, like growth. Growth is a big word here. Like you have 100%. To grow. You have to learn these things about yourself. And the first step of learning these things about yourself is actually acknowledging, okay, I have some toxic traits.
I'm not perfect.
I have some trauma. I have some unprocessed emotions, whatever it is. I have some emotional baggage, whatever. And you need to get to the bottom of it. You need to heal those things. And it doesn't mean, oh, I just need to go see a counselor. I need to go therapy. Maybe just heal yourself. I healed myself. Like I read a lot of self-improvement books. I would listen to podcasts. I followed a lot of like trained psychologists on Twitter and things like that. I'd read threads. And so I educated myself on things and I really got to know who I was. And I realized the reason why I was making all these mistakes is because I had this issue where I couldn't be vulnerable
Yeah.
That's why I led with my successful career and who I am and all these achievements, because I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want to get hurt. And it wasn't until I went through all this that I was actually fully at a point in my life where I was like, oh my God, I know who I am.
Yeah.
And now I'm allowing space for the person to come into my life.
100%.
And I'm going to let him see me this time. Like, I'm not going to.
And it takes courage.
I'm not going to close the blinds this time. I'm really going to let him see me, and I don't care.
And it's almost like we have to accept that letting them see who we are, that's no guarantee that they'll accept it, and that's okay. Like, we have to accept that it may not turn out great by us doing this, but that doesn't mean it's the wrong thing.
Exactly.
And I completely agree in terms of, you know, not to bring a downer on this, but it's coming up to the year anniversary that I lost my dad, right?
I'm really sorry to hear that.
I appreciate that.
I've also lost my father as well, so I know that wound that just never goes away.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, and things, I've been very blessed in my journey. Things have been going well, but one thing that it really, and I've always been close to my family. I was very close with him.
Yeah.
But one thing that I definitely learned from that I never, I think, acknowledged, is that it is our connections with people that enriches life. Like, you can have all the success and stuff in the world, but without those relationships, like nobody ever sits on their deathbed going, I regret not making more money.
Exactly.
It's always, I regret not spending time with my parents. I regret not spending time with my children. Yeah. It's even like, my cousin just had a baby recently. He's like a brother to me. They've got their naming ceremony next week. And they're like, oh, can you be there? And I checked, and I'm meant to be working. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. And then literally 20 minutes later, I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is the first baby of that generation of our family. I just emailed work. I was like, I'm not coming in that day, and I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
And it is really the relationships that we have
100%.
that enriches life. And I think the sooner we know that, and I think the reason it's hard for people to admit that sometimes is because it sets, like wanting a man or wanting a woman, right? Wanting a relationship.
Yes.
It sets the conditions for failure. Yes. And we don't like to feel that we're failing in something.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
We don't like to feel that we're failing, but it's one step at a time.
100%.
It's one step at a time.
And I just want to sort of go back to what you were saying about how the relationships in our lives really matter.
Yes.
I heard they did like a study recently. Did you hear about this? That they were looking at the sort of effect and the impact that the relationships that we have on our, like in our lives, on our health. And they found, did you read about this?
Yes.
It matters.
It matters.
It really affects your health, not only your mental health, your actual physical health.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Like, if you have richer connections in your life, you're statistically more likely to live longer and be healthy. It's true. It's mad.
So if we know that, let's nurture those relationships that we have and really let's
admit that it's okay to be like, this is what I want. Yeah. And I don't have it right now, but I'm working towards having it. Do you know what I mean? Let me ask you one more thing to finish off, just to take a shift. This is a massive shift. Do you think that going 50-50, a woman going 50-50 with a guy in her relationship? So the next thing I want to ask you is, can a woman go 50-50 with a guy in the relationship, go Dutch, and still respect him in being in the leadership position?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
I mean, I can't speak on every woman.
Of course.
And I can only speak on myself, but where I'm from and like how I was brought up and like just even looking at men in my family, my culture, and my country, like that's just not a thing. Right. I remember I asked my mum this question once, like just randomly sitting in the living room, and we're like, Mum, what do you think about guys going like 50? My mum looked at me like, she was like, what? What is this? And she was so oblivious to it. She's like, this happened? And it's so funny.
That's hilarious.
And like me and my brother were just laughing because we were just like, Mum really just is like, that would never happen. We don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I just think it's and when we hear this, it sounds like, oh, the man's always got to be doing things. It sounds really like hard for the man, but it's not even about that. It's about showing the woman you can take care of her, you can lead, you can provide for her, and you can make her feel safe. And I feel like when guys sort of say to the girl, oh, let's go 50-50, I don't think they truly respect the girl. I really don't.
You think they don't respect the girl?
No.
What if that's him respecting her as a strong, independent woman who can, look after herself?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Do you know, it's interesting because I completely get that. But then, and maybe this is obviously an exception to the rule, I get that. But if we look at someone like Martin Luther King, his wife is actually earning more than him, right? She was earning the money in the household, but obviously he was on a higher purpose and he was definitely in a leadership position in that role. And so it can happen where even if the woman is out earning the man, he can still have that leadership kind of establishing frame and protection, even if it's him managing the money that maybe she's bringing in or something.
Right.
So do you think that's harder for women to do? Or do you think it really kind of, he has to kind of be in that holding frame?
I'll put it this way. If the woman had the choice, she'll always pick the guy who's not making her go 50-50.
It's a fair point.
So
that's a fair point. It's
as
true.
A guy, just, know yourself.
Yeah.
Work hard and you'll feel good.
Yeah.
You'll feel good. As a man, if you take care of that bill, you feel good.
It's true. Someone did ask me this the other day. It was like, do you think men and women have to be where the man's, holding frame and the woman isn't, whatever? And I was like, I'm not going to say that should for everyone to subscribe to, but even for the man, I think it's in every man's interest if he is that.
Yeah.
Because this might sound harsh, but I think part of the reason a woman doesn't respect a man, especially if he enters her frame, is because he doesn't have authority within the relationship.
Yeah.
And when you're supposed to be a leader, there's a level of authority that you have that comes to be in that leadership position.
Yeah.
If you've moved into her house and it's her name on the deed, you have no authority in that house, my guy.
Yeah.
That's her house.
I think women, the problem they have with it as well is they almost feel like, well, look, if he's making me go Dutch, if I'm paying for a lot of my stuff, I'm still doing this, I'm making my way to him, he's not offering to pick me up, he's not, all this stuff, it starts to add up for a woman. And they're like, this is going to sound so real and harsh, but I'm going to be honest because this is how women think.
Be honest.
They're going to be like, what am I actually getting? And I'm sorry, it's
You're getting
a human
emotional
thing.
support and comfort.
But as humans, it's like, that's how people think. Yeah. And I feel like the man who is paying, he isn't saying, he's not doing the little awkward conversation like, oh, do you want to go 50-50? Do you want to split it? Like, it's always such an awkward conversation as well because the girl's like, oh, I can pay. Like, it's just like the man's just like, thank you. Takes care of the bill. It's so smooth and just so.
She's like, it's just goddamn sexy.
It's just true. It's like you feel as a woman, you are able to be so in your feminine energy. You're like, I'm taken care of. Even if she is like a really successful, high earning woman, she will still love that.
Yeah, that's true.
And people will act like they don't love it because, again, it's this whole narrative of like, I'm independent boss babe. But deep down, you crave that. You crave a man taking lead. You crave a man making you feel so safe and secure. When you know he's taking care of the bill, you're like, oh, he actually just, and then like you'll go home that day, you'll be like, oh my God, it was actually a really good day. Yeah, he paid for everything. Yeah. That's a flex for girls.
Yeah.
And it's not a flex when they come back to the girls and they're like, oh my God, he made me go 50-50.
Right.
It's about.
Do women not see then a man giving her emotional support and comfort? The thing that a woman would give a man, like let's say if we take the relationship, right, of the man is providing frame, he provides for everything, right? Like you would say, oh, what is the woman providing? What does she get? What is she bringing to the table, right? Oh, she brings him comfort, emotional support, all of this stuff. Do women not value that from a man then? Do they not value it as much?
Yes, they do. But again, women's list of requirements are a little bit longer.
A little bit longer.
They're a little bit longer. And also, women are always sort of sizing you up for marriage in a way. It's just in the way that we're wired.
That makes sense.
So even if you're just on a casual date, you think you're just on a casual date, she's looking at you, oh, is he husband material?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't pick up the bill. Oh no, you're not seeing him again. It's just this thing, like everybody knows their role. As a woman, you know your role. As a man, you know the role. And that's why marriages lasted back in the day, because everyone just knew their role, you know. Nobody was trying to like get the upper hand. It's like the man is the boss.
Yeah.
You know, I'm his wife. He's going to go out and make money and take care of the house and look after me. Yeah. And that's just how it was. And people lived happier then. Yeah. Now it's like the energy balance is off. Yeah. It's off. You got men showing feminine energy, which is very unattractive to women. They're very turned off by that. Because you'll have, for example, a high earning lawyer.
Yes.
Who's worked really hard, and she will end up attracting the guy who's like a personal trainer or like, I don't know, like working in Costa as a barista or something like that. And but that guy will have feminine energy, and he'll be attracted to what that woman has.
Yes.
Because she's giving off masculine energy.
The masculine side. Yeah, 100%.
That's so wrong.
And it's funny, I think, and you know how like, oh, you know, in marriage, like, you know, he's the head, he's the boss, and, you know, I'm his wife. And I think for a lot of women, they think, oh, well, immediately they think tyrannical. They think, oh, well, he's going to tell me what to do. I don't have any choice in anything.
Yes.
He's going to control me, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to differentiate between having a good leader and a bad leader. Because when everybody works, we all have bosses, right?
Yeah.
We all have a boss. But just because we have one boss who's a bit of a dickhead, we don't go, oh, okay, well, boss, whoever's in the position of boss is a dickhead. Because there's some bosses, you're like, I love working with this person. I love being on this person's team.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important for us to differentiate and at least make the point that it's not that a man being a leadership position within your marriage is what makes it tyrannical. It's who the man is.
Yes.
Did you choose the right boss?
Yes,
Did you choose the right leader?
Yes.
Because with the right guy who is choosing you because he values you, even if he's making the decision, he wants your input.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm making a decision for both of us. So I need to know what you need from this.
Yes.
So I can make the right choice.
Absolutely.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.